Hi, I'm Dr. Matthew Macus, a healthcare professional and pharmacist specializing in evidence-based guidance. Welcome to Make Us Healthy. If you want trusted, science-backed health insights, make sure to follow this channel. Today, we're breaking down whether caffeine really causes dehydration. Everything I share is based on real research and trusted references. If you'd like the full list of references, just comment the word references below and I'll send them to you. And remember, this information is for educational purposes only. It's not medical advice. Always talk with your doctor before making changes to your diet or caffeine intake. The relationship between caffeine intake and dehydration remains a contentious topic within the medical and sports science communities. Evidence suggests that while caffeine is often labeled a dehydrating agent due to its mild diuretic effects, its overall impact on hydration, especially in healthy adults, may not be as significant as previously thought. Research indicates that caffeine consumption can induce a diuretic effect, particularly at higher intake levels. High intake may increase urinary output and alter bladder dynamics, especially in women. However, while caffeine has a diuretic effect, its overall impact on hydration status depends significantly on the amount consumed. Several studies challenge the notion of caffeine as a major factor in dehydration. Moderate coffee consumption of up to 400 milligrams does not significantly impact hydration status, suggesting that caffeine intake within this range is compatible with normal fluid balance. Research has also shown that caffeine does not adversely affect fluid distribution during exercise, undermining the traditional view of caffeine as a dehydrating substance. Research involving young athletes consuming caffeine at typical doses showed no significant difference in dehydration compared to placebo groups, reinforcing the argument that caffeine does not lead to pronounced water loss during physical activity. Meta-analyses emphasize that the diuretic effects of caffeine during both rest and exercise may be overstated, as participants showed no substantial disparities in hydration levels when consuming caffeinated versus non-caffeinated beverages. The body of evidence collectively suggests that while high doses of caffeine can trigger temporary diuretic responses, healthy adults who consume caffeine within moderate limits may not need to be overly concerned about dehydration. Reviews indicate that caffeine consumption up to about 400 milligrams per day, the equivalent of about 4 8-ounce cups of brewed coffee, does not pose a risk for dehydration. Tea and other caffeinated beverages can also contribute to hydration, with responses differing between beverage types. In clinical scenarios where caffeine consumption is monitored, findings indicate that daily hydration can be maintained even with caffeine. For individuals who engage in regular physical activity or those exposed to hot climates, hydration levels are typically achieved through sufficient fluid intake that accounts for both caffeinated and non-caffeinated beverages. Thus, appropriate hydration strategies during exercise or intense activities often include caffeinated beverages without adverse repercussions on fluid balance. It is important to recognize that individual responses to caffeine can vary significantly based on genetics and habitual consumption. While some individuals may experience diuretic effects with moderate caffeine intake, others may develop tolerance. This variability underscores the importance of personalizing caffeine consumption guidelines, particularly among populations that are more sensitive to its effects. For healthy individuals who regularly consume caffeine, the body can adjust to these intakes, which blunts the diuretic effect and helps maintain fluid balance. This means that excessive caution regarding caffeine's dehydrating capacity is often unnecessary when intake is moderate. In summary, while high doses of caffeine can induce a diuretic effect, moderate intake does not increase the risk of dehydration in healthy adults. Distinguishing between occasional high doses and regular moderate consumption is important, but overall, moderate caffeine intake does not compromise hydration status.